What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I am your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. I got another banger for you, so kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
It is a new era in Iowa's women's basketball. Coach Lisa Bludder is out. Caitlin Clark is out. They got Coach Jensen now, and Caitlin Clark's replacement, Lucy Olsen, who happened to be the second leading scorer in the nation last year. I'm here to tell y'all, I think Iowa, I'm not saying that there's going to be championship aspirations. I'm not saying they're getting back to the title game for a third year. But what I will say is I think they're going to be fine without Caitlin Clark. I think they're going to be a lot better in this stacked Big Ten conference than a lot of people really assume.
To be as excited as they were a year ago about such a young and rebuilding and youthful perspective, that is just really cool. And I don't know, I don't know what I did, in my life to get to have that opportunity, but I just feel really blessed because a lot of coaches, and I said this in my opening press conference, that when I got the job, it isn't like this everywhere, and it really isn't. And I think that was just a testament to, it isn't, so we're working.
There's a lot of familiar faces. There's some new faces as well. Some familiar faces that are going to have to step up and take expanded roles, and some young players that are going to have to grow up fast because Coach Jensen is right. Now, she's been around this program for 20 plus years. She knows the culture, the expectations, and just overall the success that this program has had in recent years. They have become a national brand at this point, one of the national powerhouses. And I think they have a very intriguing roster this season, man. But let's take a look at first some of the biggest games they have for this upcoming season. So they have Virginia Tech, who lost, first off, two pillars of the program in Liz Kitley and Georgia Amore. Kitley to the WNBA, Georgia Amore followed Coach Kenny Brooks to Kentucky. So major losses there. Looking at more of the games, though, they've got a matchup with Tennessee that could be interesting. Iowa State's going to be a very big matchup. Audie Crooks, one of the best bigs, one of the best players in the nation, coming back this year as a sophomore, expecting her to be in that player of the year running. She is a force down low. She's worked on her conditioning. She's worked on the touch around the rim. She is elite low post defender, elite low post finisher, gets on the glass, and Addie Brown is also another sensational sophomore from them, and they brought in some shooters as well from the transfer portal. Maryland completely flipped their roster. They will be a very interesting team to watch, man. They've done a lot of adding to this roster, upgraded some pieces, upgraded the shooting, brought in some size, some guards. Maryland will be a fun team to watch as well. Nebraska, hey, this is a game that they lost last year. I'm just saying, do not sleep on the Cornhuskers. USC February 2nd will be the toughest match for them up to this point. Juju Watkins coming to town. At least they do get them at home, man. But Juju, Kiki Arafin, Talia Von Ohoffen, the freshman class, Kennedy Smith, Kaylee Heckle, it's getting gnarly in USC, man. They bring back Ryan Marshall as well. So you talk about the favorites to take the Big Ten Conference, you're definitely mentioning USC. And then they do have Ohio State. Do not sleep on Jelani Cambridge, Cody McMahon coming back as well. Ohio State will definitely have something to say about the Big Ten. And I think Iowa will be in that second tier. Obviously, it's going to be UCLA and USC in the top one upper echelon for this group, for this conference. But I think I would put them right there with Maryland and Ohio State. I would put Iowa right there with those teams in that second tier. But it's going to be really, really exciting to see. The Big Ten, man, they just got blessed with Caitlin Clark. Now they're getting Juju Watkins, man. But UCLA will be a very tough matchup. Kiki Rice, Lauren Betts, they bring back a lot of talent as well. They did some great things in the transfer portal also. Tamia Gardner joining this group. So I mean, and the list goes on. Like, I know I'm missing some names, but I'm just saying, like, UCLA did some really good things, upgrading the front court, and brought a lot of talent back from that super sophomore class. Looking at what's lost. Okay, we know Caitlin Clark's gone, but it's way bigger than just that. So Caitlin Clark, 31.6 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 8.9 assists. The two-time unanimous Player of the Year in women's college basketball is gone. But also, Kate Martin is gone. And on top of that, Gabby Marshall is gone. And Molly Davis is gone. That's like 4 of your top 6 scorers gone. So that's a lot of production, a lot of games, a lot of chemistry to replace. Now, the good news is they do have Hannah Stolke coming back, who took a major leap in her sophomore year this year, being the Robin to Caitlin's Batman. 14 points, 6.6 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and I do look for her to take another leap. She had some. I mean, she broke the single game scoring record, the game after Caitlin did. So we know that she has big time potential, and she's ready to take on more responsibility for this group. They will need Sydney Falter to be 100%. Should have been in the running for 6th Player of the Year in the Big Ten last season. Got disrespected and definitely stepped up in that starting lineup when Davis went down. And then there's a lot of newcomers as well, but the heir apparent to Caitlin Clark, Lucy Olsen, is going to be a big-time player for this group. She's been at Villanova the last several years. She was the second leading scorer in the nation last season with 23.3 points per game. I do think her assists go up to at least 5, playing with the most talent she's ever played with. She don't have to just chuck. Villanova, not really known for their women's basketball. She didn't have much help. This Iowa team will be the most talented team she's played on. I expect the shooting percentage to go up a bit too, above like 45%. The scoring could increase too. We could see an uptick in scoring. Now, there's no direct replacement for Caitlin Clark, obviously. But if you had to bring in another player in the transfer portal that could somewhat fulfill this production and replace a lot of these players that have been around that are veterans of the college game, Lucy Olsen was a home run hit, and this was a must-land transfer for them. But they also bring back Addison O'Grady, who could be big for them in the post. We saw her get some minutes last season. They bring in freshman Ava Hayden as well, 6'4". So they're bringing in like some serious size. Taylor McCabe is a player that I think could take a big step forward. She is an absolute sniper, and I like the progression. Like when she did get in the game, she did make plays as a sophomore last season. Now she's going to be an upperclassman, and she's been around this program and understands the testament to their excellence. Alea Guyton could be a freshman to watch as well, 5'7" point guard. Looking at this group, and we mentioned Hayden, like they have a talented freshman class, so there's still a lot of talent on this group, but they may be playing in the toughest conference top to bottom that we've seen in the Big Ten coming up in this season, man. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be a gauntlet. They're going to be battle tested. They did win the Big Ten last year, the Big Ten tournament, and they didn't have to face Indiana or Ohio State to get to the championship. Or to win the championship, I should say. So that's major that, they're coming back. It's going to be a different look. It's going to be a lot of growing pains, I think, at first. But I think people are just expecting that Iowa's going to completely nosedive without Caitlin Clark. And that's just not the case. I think they bring a pretty talented team back. I think they're going to compete. They're going to play hard. The fan base is still very much so behind this program. And I think they're going to shock some people, man. Iowa will definitely be a lot better than people think, man. But they got to get Stolke and Olsen in there building chemistry. They need some of them freshmen to step up. They need some of these younger players that have been around for the last couple years and kind of been enjoying the show, watching Caitlin that are upperclassmen now. Definitely need some of them to step up as well. It's going to be a true team effort for this group this year. But Lucy Olsen's a walking bucket, and there's not really a better transfer you could have brought in to try to replace Caitlin's production. But it's not just Caitlin. Kate Martin, huge player for this group. Gabby Marshall, huge player for this group. Molly Davis, like they're replacing their most successful and accomplished class ever in program history. You don't just do that with one player. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Jensen and this group comes out and really, a lot will be seen early in this season, I think. There's some tests that games they should win that they will be pushed, though. You can never sleep on a Tennessee. I'm just saying. But y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Holler at me. Talk to me. That's a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, a.k.a. Brandon Lee TV. Until next time, we out.